Hi friends, it's the Evolving Guys here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, this is Master Set Mondays. And starting in June, I've had a couple months to practice with the channel. And I think starting in June, we're going to have theme days throughout the week. So Mondays are going to be Master Set Mondays. We're going to do Teaching Tuesdays, Wildcard Wednesdays, and Father-Son Fridays. And each day of the week that has a theme, we're going to elaborate on that theme. So this is Monday. We're going to do master set challenges, including the one we're going to talk about today with Twilight Masquerade. We're going to do other master set related challenges as we try to build our master sets. So Master Set Monday, this is part one of our Master Set Challenge for Twilight Masquerade. We did one for Temporal Forces. Hopefully you followed along, and we are going to try a similar challenge, although it's going to be slightly different for Twilight Masquerade. So I hope you'll follow along, and we'll get right into it. I guess first it's worth saying just a little bit about Twilight Masquerade as a set. Some of you may have already started opening and collecting Twilight Masquerade. It came out on May 24th. You can see here it's 226 cards, and you can see the breakdown by type of card on the slide here. 76 commons, 55 uncommons, 16 regular rares, 14 double rares, 21 illustration rares, 21 ultra rares, 11 special illustration rares, 6 hyper rares, 6 ace specs, and then also 147 reverse hollows. So if you want to include the reverse hollows, we're talking about a master set of 373 total cards. It's a little bit bigger than Temporal Forces, but a somewhat similar sized set. So if you remember from Temporal Forces, what we did with Temporal Forces is we spent $600 on a booster box case, which is 6 booster boxes. One thing we learned from doing that is that by the 5th and 6th booster boxes, we really had filled out most of our master set, and we were just hoping for hits, some of those high end and some of those remaining hits. And so what we're going to try is something a little bit different. And so part of this is an experiment for us to see what is the best way to build a master set. And hopefully this is instructive for you if you're trying to build a master set. So what we are going to do in this case is we have purchased a sleeved booster case. So this is 144 cardboard sleeve boosters. You see a picture here on the screen. You've probably seen them in stores. Many of you know this product. So you can buy them in cases. They come in 144. And if you do the math, 144 divided by 36, you get 36 packs in a booster box. So this actually works out to 4 booster boxes worth of packs. And of course, that's not in a booster box. And one of the interesting things I think that we're going to learn is, do the hit rates, are they similar for these individually sleeved boosters as they are for booster boxes? So you can see here, just to kind of start off where we're starting, is retail price of this Rare Candy is where we got it. That was the best price I could find. They were charging $379.99. We had a $20 off coupon, and so that actually brought the price down to $359.99, free shipping, add tax, and our total purchase price of this product was $393.81. Again, it's 144 booster packs, so if you do the math, divide 394 by the 144, it works out to $2.74 a pack, which is almost exactly if we bought a booster box case. So we're not necessarily paying less per pack. We're certainly paying less per pack than you would in like an Elite Trainer box or a 3-pack blister or things like that. But so the price per pack is about the same. It's just 2 fewer booster box worth of packs. We're getting essentially the equivalent of 4 booster boxes. And the idea here is that, again, after the 4th booster box of Temporal Forces, we had sort of tapped out most of what we could do, and then we were just pulling a lot of duplicates and just hoping for some hits in those last 2 booster boxes. Now, we did get some hits, and we had actually a lot of stuff that we pulled in those booster boxes that we could sell. And so I'm not convinced necessarily that this is going to be a better approach. It is $200 less, so you can think about it in terms of our budget. We're spending $200 less initially than we did with the case booster boxes. So that's another factor to consider. Is we'll see what we can pull from these 144 booster packs, and then we have this extra $200 to work with that we had already spent in the Temporal Forces challenge. So anyway, this is all just trying to see what is the best way to build a master set. So for point of comparison, again, we've spent about $400 to start our challenge to buy these 144 packs. And I just I pulled all the data a week after release. So the 31st, May 31st was 1 week after release. We know prices are often high after initial release. They tend to come down pretty quickly and then they stabilize usually for a period of time, unless there's like buyouts or kind of silly stuff like that. But a week after release, if you just were to go buy all the singles, it would be over $1,000 to buy all the singles in Twilight Masquerade. And for comparison, the same figure for Temporal Forces was around $700. So at the start, this set is more valuable, more expensive when you add up all the cards. It's a little bit bigger set, so of course it would be maybe a little bit more, but if you know much about the set, there are some several good chase cards in this set. There's pretty strong value in this set. I'm actually going to do a set overview for my Teaching Tuesday video tomorrow. So if you want a little bit deeper dive, or for those who are new to the hobby, but this is just for point of comparison. We spent $400. That $400 would not even get us halfway to buying a master set if we were doing singles. Now, I know pool rates for Twilight Masquerade have been, at least it sounds like so far, been pretty rough. That's what they said about Temporal Forces, and we actually had pretty good luck, I think. And we ended up really close to a master set. So we'll see if Twilight Masquerade is similar or different. So with the Temporal Forces challenge, I opened the packs on camera as just an extra video that we could upload. My son is part of this. He's kind of a behind the scenes participant in these videos, and he doesn't like to open things on camera. He thinks it takes some of the fun out of it. And so I've decided for the Twilight Masquerade challenge just to open the packs with him on our own, not on camera. So you can see a couple pictures here. That's after opening the first 36 sleeve boosters. That's the cards on the table, and we had a lot of sleeved cardboard to recycle afterwards. But again, I think one thing that's interesting about doing it this way is we're going to open 36 sleeved boosters at a time, and we're going to compare against the pull rates that we were getting in booster boxes to see how similar or different that they are. Are the products different? I'm sort of a believer that I think probably the pull rates are similar across all products, but we're going to find out. So we opened 36 packs to start. Again, these are 36 individually sleeved booster packs. And we had 14 hits. And here are the hits we had. We'll go into a little bit more detail in a second. You can see here, if we break it down by type, we had 6 double rares. They're the ones listed across the top there. You can see the A-Spec cards stand out, the pink cards. We had 2 A-Specs. Then we had 3 illustration rares and 3 ultra rares. So 14 hits altogether. And again, it's hard to know maybe in a vacuum if that's good or not. And we'll talk more about how this compares to Temporal Forces in just a second. But just a closer look at some of the cards we pulled. We didn't really pull anything crazy valuable, which is okay because, again, the first step is, all the commons, all the uncommons, all the trainers, all the reverses. We need everything when we're starting at 0. And so in one sense, it's still, I'm not too disappointed. Probably the best card we pulled was the Hisuian Growlithe card there in the middle, the 1493 card. That's been a fan favorite, I think, of this set, even though it's not a more valuable card. I think people really love the artwork, and it pairs with the Trainer Perrin card, which we didn't pull, but we hopefully will pull the special illustration rare card. We also pulled the Carmine. I mean, the Carmine special illustration rare is also a chase card in this set. This is just the full art card or the ultra rare card. The Lana's Aid, there's also a special illustration rare of Lana's Aid, which is going to be, I think, a coveted card in the set, but we pulled the full art or the ultra rare variant. And we were lucky, among the double rares, if you follow the trading card game, the Pokemon TCG, the Dragapult EX, we'll see after NAIC just wrapped up this past weekend, so we'll see what impact that has on the meta, but Dragapult EX is expected to be a competitive deck in the new format, and so even though it's just a regular double rare, the Dragapult EX is over $11, and so that helps a little bit with our value, although the point, I think for me, the focus with this first 36 packs is not so much on the value, it's just on how close are we getting to our master set. So with that said, here are, after 36 packs, how we're doing as far as the master set. Again, this first set of 36 packs is exciting because it really is, we need everything. So you can see we pulled 58 of the 76 commons. So we're getting close, about 3/4 of the way there. We pulled 45 of the 55 uncommons, so 82% of the way there. We pulled all but one of the regular rares, or the hollow, we might call them hollow rares in a past version of the game, 94%. We pulled, again, the 6 double rares, and there's 14 total, so we're a little bit short of halfway with those. Illustration rares, there's 21. Ultra rares, also 21. Again, we pulled 3 of each, so that's just going to be those cards. Probably most of those cards aren't going to be that expensive to pick up on the secondary market when it gets to that point, but the more we can pull on our own, the better. I think the biggest disappointment, and I think what you're really gunning for with these sets, is can you pull a special illustration rare or a hyper rare, especially a special illustration rare, the SIR cards. Those are the most sought after cards, the most valuable cards. And those are really the ones that you want to try to hit on. We'll talk more about that in a second. A-Specs, we pulled 2. There's 6 in this. We were getting 2 a box pretty consistently with Temporal Forces, and this held up here. We got 2. And reverse hollows were not quite 40% of the way there, maybe a little shorter. I mean, there's more cards in this set, so we're going to just pull probably fewer of them by definition than Temporal Forces, but we're just, and I'm confident we'll pull most, if not all of those eventually, but we'll see how close we get after more packs. We ended up with Temporal Forces, after 216 packs we opened, we were still missing just 1. And so we'll see how close we get with the reverses here. So I wanted to compare this with Temporal Forces. One of the benefits of doing this Master Set Challenge for a second time is because now we can compare how Twilight Masquerade is looking compared to Temporal Forces, and also how, again, the individually sleeved booster packs are comparing against the sealed booster boxes, which is what we did last time. So you can see on the left here, the TEF, that stands for Temporal Forces. That's the set abbreviation. So across 6 booster boxes of Temporal Forces, our expected hits were 6 double rares, 2 A-Specs, 3 illustration rares, 2 ultra rares, and 1 special illustration rare. 4 of our 6 boxes, booster boxes, had a special illustration rare, so it was not guaranteed. But we were more likely than not, with getting them in 4 out of 6, we were more likely than not to have a special illustration rare. And we only pulled 1 hyper rare out of all 6 booster boxes. So that was actually the hardest card to pull. So we couldn't actually count on that. That's why it's not listed here. And on average, we had 13 hits per booster box. So you can see our first 36 packs, again, individually sleeved booster packs, you can see that we're tracking really closely. We had 6 double rares in our first 36 packs. We had 2 A-Spec cards, 3 illustration rares, and 3 ultra rares. So all of that looks really good. I think, again, the real deciding factor, and we had 14 hits altogether, I think the real key is going to be how hard is it to pull special illustration rares and hyper rares, especially the special illustration rares, because that's really, I think, going to make the difference. How many of those can, across the 144 packs that we're going to open, how many special illustration rares can we pull? So this is just another point of comparison. You see the rarity, and again, how close were we after our first booster box of Temporal Forces? That's in the middle column there, the TEF column. That tells you what percentage, how close were we to a master set after our first booster box versus how close are we to a master set of Twilight Masquerade after our first 36 individually sleeved booster packs. And you can see, I mean, it's pretty comparable, but there are some differences. You can see that for Temporal Forces, we were slightly further ahead on commons. We were much further ahead on uncommons. We were only missing 1 uncommon after the first booster box of Temporal Forces, and we're missing 10 after the first booster box, or the first 36 packs of Twilight Masquerade. Again, the regular rares, we pulled all of them in Temporal Forces in the first booster box. We are still missing just 1, but we're a little bit short of that complete set of regular rare cards. Double rares very close. A-Specs very close. We'll move on to the rarer cards. I think, again, very close. Illustration rares, ultra rares, I think we're expecting roughly 3 of each for every 36 packs. Again, the special illustration rare, we did pull a special illustration rare in our first booster box of Temporal Forces. We did not pull 1 or a hyper rare. So again, we didn't pull a special illustration rare or a hyper rare in our first 36 packs. We'll see how we do going forward. And again, reverse hollows, we're lagging a little bit behind. Some of that could be just a function of it's a little bit larger set. There's a few more of those, but I'm a little surprised that that's lagging. I'm not too worried, of course, over the long run. I think we'll get most or all of them. But that's just up for point of comparison, comparing the sleeved booster packs, 36 of them, with the sealed booster box. So where do we stand after the first part of our Master Set Challenge of Twilight Masquerade? Well, you can see here, I use the Collector app to track my collection. If you're interested, I'm not sponsored, but I've enjoyed their interface, and it has worked well for me so far. So you can see I've logged all the cards that we've pulled, and you can see our progress there, 132 out of 226 cards. And this is just the main set cards. It doesn't count the reverse hollows. You can log the reverse hollows in Collector. You can log both the normal card and the reverse hollow variant, but it doesn't reflect in the number of cards. It's still just going with the 226, which is the number of cards in the main set. So you can see we're 132 out of 226, so we're about 58% of the way there. Again, you would expect to make a lot of progress from the beginning. I would like it to be maybe a little bit further, but it is what it is. I think we'll catch up. And you can see the total value of what we pulled, not super exciting, $70. But again, keeping in mind that we didn't have any super heavy hitters in this first 36 packs. We had several cards that were in the $10 to $15 range, and then everything else was lower. But we did get some value because every common, every uncommon, every trainer, every reverse gets logged in here. And so that does help at least that initial value. We'll really be hoping for a couple of those heavy hitter cards going forward. And if you add in the reverse hollows to the total, you can see on the overall, we're at 187 out of 373. So really just we're halfway. We're halfway after 36 packs to our master set. One more thing I wanted to point out before I let you go is just comparing again. We have the benefit of having opened these 6 booster boxes of Temporal Forces. So you can see box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the progress that we made toward our master set of Temporal Forces is there in the middle column. And then we're going to track how we're doing in Twilight Masquerade opening these sleeved booster packs. And so you can see after 1 booster box of Temporal Forces, we were 68% of the way there. That's just with the main set, not looking at reverse hollows. And you can see we're lagging a little bit behind with our first 36 packs, but we'll see how this goes over time. And again, we're only going to open the equivalent of 4 booster boxes. We're going to open 144 packs to start. And so then we'll have to decide where we go from there, keeping in mind that we're spending our initial investment is $200 less with the Twilight Masquerade approach than with Temporal Forces. So you can follow along and see, which is better. Is it better to buy a case and to open a case, or is it better to buy maybe these 144 sleeved booster packs, and then we'll have that extra $200 and we can decide together maybe how we spend that. So with that, that's where we stand after part 1 of our Twilight Masquerade Master Set Challenge. Are you collecting Twilight Masquerade as a master set? What is your approach to doing this? I know Danny Phantump is someone I love to watch his videos, and he's really advising. It took him 3,000 packs to pull a complete master set. Now, of course, we don't expect to pull a complete master set, but it's really crazy. He's just going to open packs until he gets it. He had to open 3,000 packs to get a master set. There was 1 card. He had most of them, I think, by about 2,000 packs, but then there were a few cards. And if you're committed to pulling them all, very few of us can open, almost none of us can open 3,000 packs, of course, but we're going to open 144 packs. And to see where we stand, he really is advising people just to buy singles. And so we'll see, maybe that's the way to go. But there are some very valuable cards in this set, a couple cards over $100 and several cards over $50. And so to pay for those, that's pricey too. And so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we can pull at least a few of those valuable cards in our 144 packs. And that saves us from needing to buy them. And just like with the Temporal Forces challenge, we're going to resell what we can from what we pull. It's probably going to take a week or two of pulling cards before we have what we need to start reselling, before we have duplicates, or before we have sets of 4 trainers or sets of 4 common and uncommon cards that are useful for the TCG. So we're going to keep after that, and we'll keep you posted as we have a little bit more time under about what we're doing. We did a really good job with Temporal Forces at reselling. That really helped us. We could cover the cost of almost all the cards in the set from what we didn't pull, from what we were able to sell. So we'll see how we do with that this time as well. So thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow for Teaching Tuesdays, and Wednesday for Wildcard Wednesdays, and Friday for Father Son Friday, and we'll see you soon.